Hello my dear chess friends, welcome to Kiwi Chess. Here I am streaming today again. That's Wednesday and I plan to do that regularly because I've got some schedule there. Um, f- um, Wednesdays and weekends. I don't know if I'm gonna be doing 2 days on weekend because usually Sunday is a day where the next day is the work day. So yeah, Saturday for sure, but not sure about Sunday. But okay, whatever. Wednesday it is. Uh, yeah, so here we are solving tactics. As you see, we are climbing up, namely me, to 2700. And after 2600, I noticed that the puzzles become real beasts and it is really hard to progress. Say last time I gained only 8 points, I believe. Usually it says a really sharp curve. If I drop my rating to 23 or 2400, I can gain like over 100 points per session, per day, and then just go up, and then the speed slows down, and then in the end it is just like balancing off. So I believe that 2700 is kind of my um, it reaches the summit, right? So it is kind of a plateau there, and yeah. I'm not sure if I'm gonna progress from here or not in general, but let's try. Yeah, who says we could not? Okay, so in this position, you can clearly see that white pieces are not that active, but it is like black pieces are not developed at all, right? So there are three of those pieces that are not even participating in the game. However, there are some kind of sacrifices here that you always need to watch. But well, in general, there are only two pieces currently are active for black. We've got really nice rook here, which attacks f7. It is not currently available for attack. And then we've got this nice bishop here, which is, by the way, protected by the rook. Therefore, it could be also some of the uh, some like discovered attacks here as well. What else? We can attack the um, queen, I believe, like this way or something. So overall, we are down on material if you look at that. So it is 2 pawns for nothing basically, and we need to prove that there is something. All right. So what can we do? By the way, if we look at the details of the position, we can notice that well, the enemy's queen is way too far in our camp. Black's king is not castled, and as I see, well, those three pieces here are not really participating in that in the play at the moment. But I believe that Black still keeps the castling right, so next move he could castle, and then we don't know what's gonna happen. Um, all right. So let's just see what we can do here. Anything more forcing? We cannot give any checks to Black really. Um, Yeah, about the takings, F7 is protected at the moment, so we might try to um, do something about that particularly. But I don't seem well. Something like maybe we can catch the queen, but it is hardly believable, isn't it? It is hardly believable. Way too many places he could go, and I don't think it is feasible. Yeah, way too many places. So looks like rook is probably nay catchable in this place. Um, what else can we do then? What else can we do? Technically, all of our pieces are compact and protecting each other. What about black pieces? Anything we can spot here? What by some reason my hand is kind of asking me to play this move. Let's just see if there are any merits of that move. So okay, we're attacking the queen. If he takes the knight, we can give a check here, but bear in mind that the D line is already closed with the pawn, right? So that is not leading anywhere. But if I give him a check, and if he simply just goes away, what can we do? I don't see anything. We can take here, attacking the rook, and also here on d8, checkmate threat basically. Um, so it looks like once he goes away, it is not really well. He can protect, right? But then I can simply take here with checks, and looks like kind of a plan. So going there, taking. If I give a check, what if he simply covers? So he simply covers. What do? I believe I can simply take him, check. If he takes with a knight, I'm taking here on g7, and the rook needs to go somewhere like maybe g8, for example. Now bear in mind that knight actually left a5, so we can technically start attacking f7 this way or that way, so it's going to be kind of strong attack, I believe. I wouldn't exaggerate if I say like, well, black is actually in trouble here. So I think that gives us ways to initiative, and they are good ways actually. Anything apart from that, let's see. Um, we can't really attack the queen anyhow. Anything else we could expose here? And the only thing I could think of is just to go there, but again, there is no a real threat at the moment. So knight to d5 threatens, right? It threatens the queen. If the queen simply goes, then check here and everything. If he goes, if black moves the queen to b6, then this one takes a discovered attack on the queen. So queen can't really have, doesn't really have that many places to go, in fact, which is good. So if we attack this way, basically black cannot just step away. That's what my point is. So he goes there, for example, g3, check here, then checkmate on yeah, so that's kind of cruel, but interesting. Again, I was looking at this move too, like knight to b5, but if you simply take, I'm gonna give him a check, so obviously he wouldn't really go anywhere, so he covers, and then what? We take here with check, he takes, we get there, and we got the pawn back, we're taking the rook, rook goes away, then we can attack here, the queen, then yeah, well, that way is also kind of interesting, because it allows us to check if he takes. But if he doesn't take, what does happen then? If the queen goes to b6, and bear in mind this way, well, there are two pieces here, what would we do? We can take here, surely he can retake, and then maybe we could attack him somehow, like, no, we cannot, because the knight on b5, the pawn is still on c6, protecting those squares. I feel like I can't really develop my attack in here. No, so I think this is the best move. So say he simply goes away. Can I do anything? I can go there attacking him. Say he goes to b7. Then I can give this check. Yeah, so going to b7 doesn't really help, does it? And if he goes away like here, he cannot. Yeah, yeah. Ah, if I go to b5, he can simply castle. That's probably it. No checks here anymore, no. So that's why I don't want to play there. So knight d5 it is. That's the first move, definitely. Um, all right. So what have we got here then? Well, taking. I don't know if that's really advantageous for black because I can give him check and he goes away. Then I'm taking here on d5, and as we saw, I can gobble that rook on a8, threatening checkmate here too. So yeah, black is in trouble. So he can't really take on d5. That's what I reckon. And if he doesn't take on d5, then c7 is under attack. What would he do? Maybe simply just castling as well. Let's just see that I'm taking. So in this case, his queen is gonna go somewhere. What places he could go to? c5, b6 is not that good because of taking, right? So c5 is interesting, but then check here anyways. And he goes away where we're checkmating him. So I believe that's basically it. Yeah, that's a really powerful move. I'm gonna go there. That's correct. Well, taking here is not that advantageous as we say. So going there, attacking him would lead him to go move that way. So I need to give him check first. If I give a check, so he covers with the if he covers with the bishop, I take here. If he takes this way, I'm giving him a check, then this piece is gone. So yeah, I think that's kind of, yeah, well, that's it. And I've got 12 points for that, my goodness. Could you believe that? The rating of this puzzle is 27-26, and I wouldn't say it was that hard. I wouldn't really say it was that hard. Finding this move, the first move and then continuation is probably, maybe that's confusing, right? So, yeah, but if you see that you got really, really strong initiative here, and at least you get the piece back and still continuous attack, so I don't think it should be of 12 points. How bizarrely Lichess distributes the bonus points. I'm always just amazed. But again, there is the well. I was thinking about it, and I think it's kind of we're not comparing apples with apples here. For some people, it is hard to find sacrificial combinations, like for myself. But I'm okay with like end games, right? Some people are different because everybody is different, right? And in this case, I believe that the whole idea here behind the Lichess, first of all, Lichess puzzles, I reckon they're distributed as whoever tried to solve that and how many people won, right? Therefore, the rating is gonna change according to that. It's basically the ELO rating, anyways, but it is taking into account the rating of the puzzle and your rating, right? And that's why if you are of high rating and you didn't solve a simple puzzle, then the puzzle will be kind of increasing its rating, being kind of harder, but your rating is gonna drop. So, well, technically, same as ELO, I believe. So, given the fact that this puzzle is quite hard rating wise, then I believe not that many people were looking at this sacrificial idea on d5. But by elimination, that seems like the only way. There is nothing else you could do. Anyways, doesn't matter. Next. Okay, so here we've got slightly different position. I think I got this position once in my chess play or over the board, but no, I haven't got. Well, that's ridiculous, right? This pawn is gonna fall, and you basically have got an extra pawn. And 5 against 4, it is a draw, but you need to be extra careful there with the rook and game. Okay, anyways, looking. Pawns are equal, as we said. What else? What have we got here? Two pieces each, two rooks each. We've got a little bit of back rank issue here because there is no escape square, and that's a little bit disappointing. Our rook on c8 is not protected, therefore he can just jump away somewhere. Pardon me, and our rook on c8 will be under attack. Alright, so that's it. I believe we should do something either about that or do some other tactical um, exercising. And bear in mind, this knight can actually jump on c4 attacking my rook. My pawn here is protected by the bishop, but for how long I don't know. So we need to do something about that particular instance. By some reason I wanted to make a move like a rook to c3 because the bishop here becomes under attack, right? And if, for example, he takes me here on c3, I'm taking him, and he takes here, and it doesn't look like, well, it does look like we're winning because I'm gonna go there and try to win, but he's got this subtle answer, knight to d3, the 4 pawn is not gonna move anywhere, and I believe we are going to lose here. Right, so that's a bit of yeah, that's a bit disappointing. What else can we possibly... Hang on a moment, what the heck am I talking about? What the heck am I talking about? So clearly my mind is not really integrated with the thought. So if I go to c3, he can't really take on b4. What the heck am I talking about? First of all, because I can take here check and then take the rook, or I can simply take the rook as at least, right? So that doesn't make any sense. So if I go there and he takes my rook, that's the problem. Ah, hang on a second. No, I was right. I was right. This kind of dancing from one thought to another, thinking that I missed something, is a little bit alarming because that shows that my brain doesn't really work correctly. We need to concentrate, not to rush, and pay attention to detail. Okay. Alright, so by some reason I wanted to make a move f6, something like that, but he can just jump to c4. I can take here, he takes here, I'm taking here check, and I'm taking here, staying with two pieces for a rook plus this really strong pawn. He can't really give me checkmate here or anything, and if he tries to go for my rook or for my knight or bishop, my pawn goes further, and I believe he still needs to return. He can't even take one of my pieces here, which is kind of okay. So that is one of the possible moves too. Can he just simply take here? No, because I'm retaking, right? So there is no way. But if I went that way, so he goes, well, he's got way too many options. First of all, he doesn't want to, he doesn't need to go to c4, so he goes there. I'm gonna take him with the rook, so he needs to go somewhere like f3, for example, or he can go to d7, probably thinking that, well, there's gonna be something, but just getting too far from your camp is not always good. So say I'm moving f6, he moves to f3. What are we going to do then? I reckon I should play my trump here, which is going that way. See, his knight now moved, and this combination with if he takes, I take, he takes here, my pawn moves, and he can't really stop my pawn. So that suddenly starts to be a really interesting idea, right? A very interesting idea. Okay, okay. I just want to see how my whole thing is going here. CPU 2%. That's really interesting. I used to stream the majority of my time for about like, couple of years from a really weak laptop, which was like 6th gen i7, And well, I didn't complain. It was working fine. And this computer was with a kind of weak graphics card, which was something NVIDIA, I think 940 MX or something like that. 940 MX, I think, or just M at 40 no MX. So really weak one, but it was enough for me to stream decent quality of videos. And now I've got a little bit modernized computer, right? So it's 10th generation i5. It's already 4 cores, and it looks like that has got the integrated graphics in there, right? UHD graphics in there. But it shows that the CPU usage is only 2%. So it looks like this OBS streaming is CPU heavy as well, because on that computer I used to get about, like on Windows it was 7% of CPU usage. Under Linux it was 10% or even more, and then it increased. I think it was like up to 15% by some reason. Maybe it's kernel update or something. I don't know. But yeah, it was quite CPU heavy, and I had some problems with lags. If you remember, if you were watching me, so sometime like in the beginning of winter, around like maybe sorry, like New Zealand winter. So it's like May or June. I had the sessions where my mouse was lagging, and it was really annoying. Yeah, but now it looks, touch wood, really good. Yeah, 2% CPU usage. The computer doesn't consume that much energy. The cores are not that excessively overwhelmed. What is the wattage use? 31 watt at the moment. Not too bad. Not good either, but not too bad. For 4 cores, it is not too bad. There are better computers, of course, like with even AMD processors. They've got much more cores, but well, I think they're consuming more energy. Although AMD improved the okay, I won't go that way. Sorry. I can talk endlessly about computers. So now, all right. So F6 was my idea here, but maybe there can be something else as well. Let's just see. Well, White hasn't got the first rank issue, so he's got the escape square on H2, and I reckon that is kind of eliminates the possibility of our attack on the back rank. I don't know. Something like bishop to d6, trying to take the bishop. Well, if he takes, I'm retaking, and where is the gain, kind of? I don't see. Even if he takes, I take. He takes here, and yeah, well, what am I doing? So from all the candidate moves here, I reckon this one is okay. Moving the pawn forward, I don't know. Well, this one is the second choice. I don't know if that's kind of promising or not, but yeah, I've got two candidate moves here. This way he can actually jump here, threatening, so looks like I don't want that to happen. So that goes and promotes rook to c3 then. See, the whole idea in chess is you need to predict your opponent's moves. Yeah, literally, you need to predict that based on logic. So as if you are playing for both sides, but that's a hard part where you need to think equally hard for both parts. And that's not usually what happens at chess. You think thoroughly your moves, but with your opponent you can get well, you know. But that's a mistake. Basically, you need to find the best moves. Then, if your opponent makes a weaker move, you will be rewarded. Okay. because you know how to react better to his weak move. But if you miss a strong reply from your opponent, you can be in trouble. Okay, rook c3 it is. What is he gonna do? And here is, I have forgotten about the same reply here, like knight to c6, and that doesn't work because we're taking on c7. If he gives me check here, sure, I'm just simply taking you. What the heck? And that's it, he's without a piece. So knight c6 doesn't work in this edition, which is good. What we were saying is that he simply takes on c3, we have to retake, and his bishop is under attack at the moment, as well as the pawn is going to move, and then our bishop is going to jump on a3, and he's going to lose his rook for a pawn, which is definitely threatening. Therefore, that kind of promotes my idea of rook c3 being kind of a move with initiative. Say he takes, I take. He needs to move away from here. What can he do? Where can he go? It does not let many squares that he can go actually. So I reckon it is only leaves him with going bishop to d6, b6, sorry, b6. And if that happens, we just move our pawn forward. He moves away, and then we are going to a3. Therefore, that's going to be winning. We at least win an exchange. So he goes there. We're taking, he's taking, but we're still left with that really, really strong pawn on c2. Therefore, what we can do is we can move away our knight, then just attack his bishop and threaten to go and promote the pawn. So I think it is kind of okay. Yeah, I think it is fine. If it goes this way, so I take, he takes, I take here. I'm threatening to attack him, but I've forgotten that the initial answer was to take on b7, right? So he takes on b7. Therefore, we're in trouble, kinda, right? We're in trouble because if we move the pawn, he just jumps back, and the pawn cannot really promote, right? The pawn cannot promote, and we already one piece down, and that's not really good, is it? So going there, taking, this is the cold shower, kinda. This is a cold shower. And it is a cold shower just because white can jump to d3. Therefore, we need to ask a question. Can we get rid of that bloody knight on e5 somehow in order to kind of embody the plan that we conceived? Let's see. As I said, maybe we could start with f6. Is it okay? So he moves there, attacking our bishop here. And it already kind of smells initiative because he will take on b4 afterwards. If we retake, he takes. Our knight is going to be under attack, so that doesn't seem right to me. That doesn't really seem right to me, frankly saying, guys. That doesn't seem right to me. And if f6, he can't go anywhere there, but he goes to c6, for example. What are we doing then? In fact, if he goes there, I can take him here. What the heck am I talking about? And if he takes me here, I'm taking here. But then he gives me check, and I'm in deep shit. No, I'm not, because f6 is played, and I've got the escape square. Haha, and that makes total sense. So f6 is actually a good move. I was refuting that because of the so-called reply on this reply on c6 was attacking my uh, bishop on e7. But who cares? I'm taking your bishop on c7. So you take there with check, I'm taking here, and I'm staying with the extra piece. I know that after he takes the pawn, it is still kind of a lot of play, but hey, I've got an extra piece here. So I can even try to exchange the rooks or get with my rooks to the second rank or whatever with help of the knight on e4. Like it can go there and there. And yeah, an extra piece is an extra piece. Therefore, let's just try that. Another good thing about move f6, he cannot go to d3, and if he goes away somewhere, not to c6 of course, then we still simply play rook to c3. And in this case, he hasn't got the move to stop my pawn from promoting. And if he takes on b7, then we move the pawn forward, and rook cannot get back to the first rank, and he loses. f6 in this way. Righto, so here we go, and as we understand, we need to take on c7. But let's just not rush. I mean, yeah. If I take, say he takes here, I'm taking him check, he takes, I'm taking on b4. Yep, I think that's correct. That's correct, yes. Here, we're taking here, and that's winning. 10 points, guys, which is really encouraging. We are really close to 2700, which is really good. I didn't plan to stream for a long time today, but if the thing goes nicely, why not? Let's do something else. Alright, so in this position, I see that the enemy's king is kind of asking for trouble here. We've got the rook left performed already, which also screams of uh, rook to g6 check, after which the king is going to be in quite a lot of trouble. Apart from that, anything else? I don't know. I don't know. Knight to e4 is interesting because that attacks the queen, that attacks the knight, that starts to starts as kind of really serious threat of rook to g6. First of all, I wanted to move that way, but I don't know if that one is better than this move, which distracts the knight, attacks the queen, and plants g6. In either case, actually, if I go there and he takes me, I can't play g6 here, but I can play rook to h6. Checkmate in 1 is threatened. Can he do anything about that? Yes, he can play f3. And if he plays f3, then we're gonna go check on g3. He goes away, and we are checkmating on h1. I think that's quite authentic. Yeah. That's why knight here doesn't really help, because we need to spin the move, the queen move to get that, and the h line is actually, h file is still closed. So knight to e5 seems the best. If he tries anything else, then rook g6 check wins on spot. He doesn't have any time to protect g3 or attack my queen, because still rook to g6 is quite a serious threat here. So knight to f5 it is. Anything? Are we missing anything here? Let's verify together. Any counter jumps like this one, for example? I don't know. We can still go there, but then he gives me check. Oh, he can't give me check because he's pinned. Sorry. Then check here. Yeah, I think it is still winning. So if he tries some tricks here, we're simply pitting him anyways. And there is no way for him to do anything. Well, no, there is a way. He can go to... No, he cannot. If he goes to d5, he can't really protect the g5 square because my knight is already on e5. And we're still, by the way, once we go to rook to g6, we're still threatening the queen on c4 with our knight. So my goodness, that's real sharp. Okay, how we're standing here. Right, so let's just see how that goes. Let's see how that goes. So knight to e5 it is, I think. Way too many threats, and I don't really see how he can reply. Obviously, I'm missing some interesting replies too, but I believe that the way, once you see this move, it is kind of saying, yeah, go ahead, play me, because that's basically the idea. If he goes somewhere like here, um, I can go check, and if he covers like this, still taking red, so yeah, there's no way. Yeah, 95. Baga, and this is the correct move. Ha! Can you imagine? I saw both moves and I said like, well, this is actually with tempo, blah blah blah, and I rejected that move because that locks everything here. And can you imagine that this is the correct move actually? I believe that because there is also f3 push, etc. So maybe because of that, but let's just verify. Here goes my 2700. Okay, so first of all, if I go there, I don't know what the heck. So that's the correct move. He takes f3, right? No. Check here, no. Taking here, no. And not a second. Simply taking. Okay, so he takes there. Why wouldn't he escape? Because I'm checkmating him. Okay, that makes sense now. Now the rook takes. Shall I take with this rook or that rook? I think I have to take with this rook, but maybe... yeah, and I'm still threatening to give a check here. So this way, and it is winning. Okay. Okay. Let's just go back for a second and see why knight to e5 doesn't do the same thing. So if I go there, what am I missing? Taking here maybe? I can't check here anything. And if I take here, he simply takes, and that's the way. Yeah, I missed this move when he takes. I knew it. I was missing something. And by the way, knight to h4 threatens to checkmate on g2. That's why he needs to react quite immediately by taking the knight on h4. But here I'm threatening his queen, and that's not a biggie because he simply takes on d6. If we retake this way, he takes my knight, and that's about it, right? We can't check on g6. We can move rook there, but can we win that or not? That's not clear. Let's just verify. So what I'm saying is I'm moving this way. He takes, say I'm taking, right? It looks like the only move here. I can't take with another rook because this is the... No, I can take with another rook. Just a second. I can take with another rook. There's no check here. But he can simply retake, right? And it looks like he's got 3 pieces for a rook, which is quite a lot. And he threatens that as well, so I better find something. So if I go there, check, he takes, I take here, check, and that's winning, right? But I'm missing something. It couldn't be that easy. And since I can't find it, just not to waste the time, I will ask the computer to see how it all goes. So this way, right? If I go knight e5, simply taking, right? Simply taking, and if I go there, yeah, of course, check here. What if I take on a5 first? Cannot do. My goodness, of course I cannot do that. And that refutes everything. So knight here. Why would I? Let's just go back and understand the source of my kind of cause of my mistake here. So I was thinking that I'm gonna checkmate him. It's a threat, and I thought that this move doesn't really help because of that move. But I have forgotten that he can give me check. I'm missing a check, which is kind of a really big sin for chess because check is the most obvious thing that could come on mind, right? That's the first thing that comes on your mind. And I'm having this perpetual mistake where I don't see the most forcing moves, and here it is a check. Why would I allow him to go there? I can't give him check on g6, and he's got check on f7, after which I need to go there. He gives me check, and then he gives me smothered checkmate, by the way. So very nice, in fact. If I go back, he sacrifices the queen. I'll actually show you just in case. Right, so check here, we're going away. Check here, we're going, if we go further, checkmate in one, right? So the queen moves here. But if we go that way, it's even more interesting. Check here, we're taking smothered checkmate, which is also really nice. Okay, the basics. So the conclusion, I didn't see the move because I didn't see the most forcing reply, which is check. Hard to believe, but I didn't see the most forcing move, which I have to see, right? And also, the part mistake was that knight on h4 in fact threatens as well. It is a really serious threat. I thought like, well, we're going there, but there is no actual threat here, and there is. He has to take this knight, otherwise checkmate in one. Can he go that way? No, because this is the checkmate too. So yeah, I'll just turn off the computer. So yeah, well, he has to take. Then we take here, but he see again. I saw this position. If he takes me, I saw once we played knight h4, and I thought like, well, this is a waste of time because he might go somewhere and he can't go anywhere because we are checkmating him in one, right? So if he goes to f1, checkmate on h1 right away. Now in this position, what if he tries to escape via f3? Doesn't help, does it? It doesn't help because of this. No, hang on. Check here or check there, I believe. I think check here is better because if he goes there after this move, he can't do anything. He needs to remove his bishop somewhere, but maybe even here just to keep control on f3. But then check, or maybe check yet more forcing. He goes there. Check goes there, and I don't see anything. And if I go simply check here, maybe, or maybe go this check, I can go that way. Check here, he can cover. So again, that's not really clear. Let's just see. Maybe not this way. Maybe just checking this way. So he can't escape here. He needs to go that way. It makes more sense now. So I give him check now. And it's a checkmate. No, it's not a checkmate, sorry. He can escape, of course, but next move is a checkmate. That makes more sense. Okay. Alright, Alex, next one. So, yeah. You have to roast yourself for not seeing simple things, of course. But don't roast yourself too much because that's counterproductive as well. Um, all right, so what have we got here? I see that we are piece short, right? So he's got two pieces, we've got only he's got three pieces, sorry, we've got only two, and that's actually quite bad. The problem is that his pieces are not really in play, so he's got only queen and the knight which are participating at the moment. Another thing is that we've got this f7 weakness, right? So we have two pieces attacking him on f7, which is also kind of a little bit, dangerous. And the other thing is that we can also play a bishop to f4. Currently, it's not possible because he can counter check on the diagonal, and we are not really gaining anything. Maybe there is d4 to play as well. I'm not quite convinced at the moment, but we will verify that idea too. By default, I think check here is necessary, so he goes away. Then we can probably think about something else in this position. This one doesn't work, and what is the necessity? I'd really like to checkmate him, but that's not gonna happen, I reckon. I can move d5, so I'm cutting off those two squares, and then guess what? I'm gonna sacrifice here. He takes, I'm taking with the rook, and that's a checkmate. Mostly no, he can go there, but I can check here, and it's a checkmate. Yeah, interesting. It's a really funny checkmate there. Right, so, but I've forgotten about the d pawn, so he can actually move d pawn as well. So yeah, check here goes away. A knight to d5 with idea of checking here with the further uh, implication. But guess what? Checkmate in one. Hey, hey, hey. I'm missing simple things, but luckily I saw that before I made any move. Okay, what shall we do? That implies that we need probably to go like check, 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 checkmate, right? And in this position, I'm still playing check here. He goes away. I'm not playing knight d5 anymore because I'm gonna be checkmated in one. Not good, is it? Playing rook, bishop to f4. He can play check here or check there. But bear in mind that we also our bishop on f4 protects covers c7 just in case. If he gives me check, sure. Is that important? I'm just gonna go away. Or another way, in fact, is oh no. If I check here, h5 is under control, so he can't really get there. Okay. What the idea is that he can still attack on h2, but he cannot. All right. So since we're under checkmate in one at the moment, so we need to think about what to do here. What if I go there attacking him? Say he covers, sure. But now he hasn't got this idea of checking me on those two squares. Check here, he goes away, and now d5. Absolutely the same threats, absolutely the same ideas. Can he protect somehow? Probably he can, but like moving d6 at some point. Pardon me. Interesting, very interesting, very, very sharp position. Come on, back. What else? What else? Well, the first move is definitely check, right? Defending is going to be without initiative. If I go there, it is still loss of tempo because he can check me, right? And then what? He can give me check here, winning the exchange. So I believe that's not the case. I am taking him, right? So now we think we move forward, and we can think about something else in here. What else can we think about? Any other checks we could potentially impose on him? Because you remember we're still under checkmate in one, right? So what can we do? Pardon me. Currently we're still piece down, right? And by the way, going with rook to f4, he can take on e3, right? And there is no checkmate so far, so I believe that this move is kind of waste of tempo. But what else? What else are we left with? That's a problem. Sacrificing? Sure, let's verify that variation. Taking here, so he doesn't really go there because in this case I'm gonna go f4 and I'm winning his queen. He takes, I'm taking, and it looks like I'm exchange up, right? So anything else we can do? I saw this check here on g5, but it looks like he simply takes, right? And then what? Well, yeah, we got rid of the checkmate threat in one. And by the way, he can cover with the bishop on e7. So what are we doing then? What are we doing then? Simply taking will have to. So he takes with the queen. He takes with the queen. Then what? I don't see anything. So this check doesn't seem kind of too credible. Incredible. Anywhere else? I would really like to check him somewhere here somehow, but there is no such possibility. Here check is cash, kind of doesn't gain anything. And we're still having a threat of checkmate in one. The only good thing about moving to f4 is even if he takes here, we can't go to d5 anymore. It's not good. Interesting. So far I can't find the idea, but maybe we are really close. I'm thinking about different ways like this, but I forget. Well, checkmate in one, mate. Checkmate in one. That's the threatening, very threatening stuff. Maybe we still can go to f4. Who cares? It is kind of attacking the queen, right? So if he gives me check here or there, what shall we do? We can still go away. And if he goes check here, yeah, sure, I'm gonna take him here, and he can't really retake me because check here and I'm retaking his queen on f2. So that kind of full protected, right? So in fact, going there is not a bad idea. Check here or check there. We're going away, but that manifests a loss of initiative. So if he gives me check and I'm going away, I'm wasting tempo. Therefore, I haven't got that. Well, I haven't got any threats here. That's the first thing we need to ask ourselves. The idea is like going there, check. He goes away. Any kinds of checks here too. He needs to travel away, and that doesn't seem too concerning. Well, it is. It does seem concerning actually. His king needs to travel, and I believe with our all our pieces on board, we can even do the rook left up until here or something. So who knows? Who knows? Maybe sacrificing right away. Check here. If he goes there, that's a problem. If he goes back there, is this a problem? That's a good point. Hmm. This check here. Simple taking. Then he gives me check here. Well, in fact, no. If he goes and takes, I'm gonna get there. And I don't really care if he gives me check or not, because I'm standing to sacrifice with checkmate, right? If he goes d6 here, check here, he goes away. And then what? Maybe I'm not going there. Maybe I do some other checks, like this way, maybe. Hmm. I just thought of that move. So, well, because of that word. So that was kind of refutation. Hmm. I'm missing something simple again, it looks like. So let's see. Hmm. Maybe this is the move when I'm taking the knight. And if he takes, problem if he takes, I don't have d5 square, which I really want for my knight. That's not good. Which leaves me to think, just rook knight to f4. Check here, sure. Simply going away. Check here, taking. So he can't really check here. But what is my threat? My threat is to go somewhere. And that's why I think, well, this check here is kind of really annoying. But checkmate in one. And after he's taking here, say, well, he hasn't got the checks, of course. But I haven't got anything either. Still, maybe just going there. Well, this is a threat because I'm threatening to take the knight. And the only way I could see that is he takes on e3, right? So he takes one more piece. We are two pieces down at the moment, but can we do anything? I want to checkmate, of course, or win another piece with a continuous attack. And that means probably this piece. I don't see what else we can attack. Any kinds of attacking from this side doesn't really make sense, so going there is probably the best. So he goes away with check. And then what? We're simply going away. He goes d6. We go what? We go that way. We can threaten check here, which is in fact checkmate. So, well, not a checkmate, of course, but he can go away and we retake everything with continuous attack. So I think that that's not that bad. It's not too bad. I believe we might allow him to go and check us. That doesn't really make any difference. We're going away. And the idea now is that we can still play knight to d5 with the idea of checkmating here. So I think, yeah, that's not a bad idea. Although there could be something better than that, I don't know. So the idea is just to go there. If he checks, sure, I'm just going away. And if he goes somewhere, either here or there, knight d5 follows, and then checkmate on c7 is threatened, unless he sacrifices that. So if he goes there, in this case he protects, right? But then I'm gonna go this way check. This check is also threatened once the knight on d5. And if he goes back, then check here. Yeah, I think I'm gonna go there. Okay, so I didn't see that move, but go me. I mean, check here. Let's verify this variation. So check here. If he simply runs away, I don't think he can simply run away here, but we will verify. And if I go check here, if he goes back that way, I can repeat my check. And if he goes that way, I'm taking his queen. Here it takes, I'm checking here, it's a checkmate. Therefore, if we go check here now, well, actually he can go and cover with a knight. So that does make sense. If he covers with a knight, can we do anything? Well, we can take his queen. He takes, and I believe that's not really good. Going away with the queen doesn't seem right either. How interesting. It's like every move is thought, because I didn't see queen to e6 move. And that's what you have to do. You have to find the best moves for your opponent. In this case, I missed that move. I mean, I didn't even count that because I thought like, well, okay, but just we need to find a general idea. And that's what we usually do. We neglect the opponent's replies. We just calculate a general idea as forcing as possible. In this case, it is forcing, but I was not calculating that. I calculated only two replies which are going away with check. This is not a check, but it threatens to exchange the queens, and we are still pieced down, so that doesn't make sense to exchange queens here, does it? The way I see that is maybe we could still go something like that, and if he takes me here, I'm checking you, or I'm checking you this way. I don't know what has been. No, I think I'm gonna check you this way, and if you go away, then I'm kind of taking the queen or what? If I'm going there, he takes me here. I'm checking. Goes there, so I am in trouble. I am in trouble, but it looks like once the bishop moves, the queen is gonna be out of range, right? It's not really reachable. I kind of feel like knight to d5 is an interesting move. Maybe I'm wrong, but it feels like that. What if he simply moves d6 in this case? Wow, I didn't see that first. So take here, check here, goes away somewhere. Rook to f7 comes, but no, that doesn't make sense. Can this knight move away somewhere? Yes, it can. I was thinking about just simply e3 here, taking e3, but he goes to f6, and that's not good. In fact, this is another move here which I'm looking at, but then check here comes and the knight is gonna go. So no, thank you. Maybe we can give this check in here. I'm just thinking. So he takes, that's the only way. Then we can give another check here. Well, if he goes back, no. How bizarre. Can we take the queen? We can take the queen, but would that give us anything? I don't think so. Maybe you can just retreat with the queen, but that doesn't seem... It's hardly believable, right? Hardly believable. If I had my knight somewhere close to the king, I would declare checkmate right away. But it isn't possible at the moment. Ah, hang on a second. What if I just give him check here? If he covers... If he covers... And if he runs, two possibilities. If he runs, I reckon I would give him another check or something. And in this case, it is gonna be kind of hard for him to go away. So he goes away, gonna give him check here. He can cover, or he can even play it this way. No, he can't play d6 because of the checkmate. He can play with the cover with the bishop, but then I take him and he can't retake because checkmate follows. That's interesting. Now if we give a check and he covers and I'm moving this way, and if he takes me here, that's a problem. Check goes there. If I take check, he takes there, sure. I'm simply going that way. Doesn't make sense, does it? Hi Sarah Lily, how are you doing? Welcome back. Okay, yeah. Well, here is check, here is check. I'm just boldly verifying all the checks. Going there, going there. What else are we capable of taking? No, doesn't seem right. Okay. Any kind of sacrifices here, would that do? I don't think so. No, I don't think so, really. Um, Again, we are two pieces, well, one piece down at the moment, so how can we maybe go in there? No, that doesn't make sense. Out of all moves, I reckon that whatever is more initiative like is either this one or that one. And I believe that checking on g5 is worth of much thorough analysis, looks like. So check here, there are two moves taking the covering and running away. Seems like running away is not a good deal for black because of this check here. What if he goes that way instead? I can take here. Or I can take here first, then take there. Or I might not take, I might take with the bishop, with the knight check, and then try to do something else. Yeah, it is still continuous attack this way. Is not rook is also getting into play, so yeah, it is kind of interesting. Let's just see how we are standing. Alright, so looks like this is the only way. Looks like, but not quite sure. Check, forcing, quite good. Going away looks like trouble. Covering, does that look like trouble? I don't know. Moving the forward. If he goes in there, I'm just simply taking. If he takes there, I'm taking here, regaining one piece. But there is no checkmate. That's a sad part. So it doesn't look like a good thing. Check covers. That's kind of refutation. Seems like. Can we do anything here? Escaping, deviating. Maybe we can simply take here, threatening check. See, he takes, I'm taking here check. He goes away, then this check comes and everything is not looking great, but at the same time there's nothing I could see for us to exploit. I reckon I'm just spending too much time. I don't see something simple. Maybe just going there is the best. I'm not sure. See, he takes me. I'm taking, getting the check. So he goes away. Then checkmate. Nice. Now, if I go there, he takes me. I'm checking here if he... Well, if he covers with the bishop, first of all. That seems kind of troubling. Because I have to take, and he takes, and that's it. So if I get there, he takes... What if I'm checking here? He covers with the knight. Oh, sorry, bishop. And I don't want that. I don't want that to be going there, taking, and if I check here, for example, he goes away. I don't have any checkmate in here. That's a problem. So check, no, taking, maybe taking. What did we gain? Nothing. So taking here. No, that doesn't make sense. Check here. Covering. Taking here, then he takes. Right, so if I go there, check, he covers. I don't have anything. I don't have anything here, but generally speaking, if I just go this way, I don't know. I think I found the idea, guys. So I go there, check. That's the idea. And if he takes, then I'm gonna give check here. If he returns back, which I looked at now, then I'm taking here check. That's a checkmate threat here. So he takes, I'm taking here check. He's got only one cover. Then I can take him, he takes, I'm giving check here, I'm taking the rook, which means that I am standing exchange up. I am standing exchange up here. And then I can move the rook here, my knight is gonna go away, and that's basically it. However, if I go there check, and if he takes, and I'm gonna give him a check and he goes somewhere else, like say b8, right? If he goes b8, then that's a problem, I reckon. Because what I'm going to do, I've sacrificed my dark square bishop, but maybe I could do something else here. I'm not quite sure, really. I'm really not sure. Because if I go there check, he can cover in many different ways, even with the pawn, and I'm not getting anything. But let's just verify. Check, he takes. If I give this check and he goes to b8, no, that doesn't make sense. Now, if I go there, check, he gets there, I can still check, he takes with the rook, check here, he goes away, then check here, he goes to b8, goes check, he goes to b8, check here, he yeah, no. So check, covers, still check, takes, taking here, check, he goes away, check, he goes to b8, and then I'm taking here, threatening checkmate in 1. And it doesn't seem like, well, he goes there, I'm gonna take here, check. He goes away. Am I okay here or not? I think I am having too many pieces here for a queen. Maybe I can sacrifice right away. That's what I'm not kind of sure. So take, then check here. I don't know. This is still not going anywhere. So my first idea is, well, this one here, check. This one goes there. It's going there. Where else? What can we do? There are some interesting checkmates here, like checking here, and if he goes, that's a checkmate. I just counted that, but if it's here, then we can go there, check. He takes, I'm taking here, check. He takes, I'm checking here. And then if he goes somewhere like e6, for example, I'm checking here, taking the rook, okay? Where can he go? He can go backwards here. He can definitely go back. But would I have anything in this position? And the answer is no, I wouldn't. Oh yeah. Queen. Okay. Let's just try to go through the variations once again. So first of all, getting there doesn't really help because he takes me, right? Any checks don't help. This check doesn't help. He goes to e8. This check doesn't really help because he can first cover with the queen. He can cover with the bishop, right? If he covers with the bishop, then I have to take his queen first, and then he can simply take me on g5. Now, so knight to d5 doesn't help. Now I've got this idea of check here, and if he takes and I'm checking here with the knight, then basically that helps. If he returns back here, then a sacrifice. But if I go there check and he goes somewhere else, that's a problem. The dark square bishop should be preserved, I think. That's what my main goal is. So this one goes there, this one is checking here. What else? This seems like a refutation. Still check, he takes, check here, he can't retake with the bishop because his bishop is pinned. Okay. And going away. And that's it. I haven't got anything. I can give a couple of checks like with this knight check, but then he goes away and I haven't got anything. Really interesting position, and it's really kind of an honor to crack that. Um, really interesting is this, but after taking check here, he goes away. I take here, he takes, I check here, he simply covers. Right, nothing. And there, check here threatened, so he has to take. And if he takes, check here, it doesn't help. Check here goes away. The problem is I would really like to have my bishop somewhere here and knight there, so check here is probably interesting, so I go in there. What if I go that way instead? So my idea is to take, if he takes here, or if he takes this away, and I take, that doesn't make sense. I'm missing something really simple. I just need to concentrate and find it. So I'm just thinking maybe I should just go away with the queen or something. Why not? Just retreating back to h5. Well, he can give me this check here, right? Then I'm just gonna go away, and that he gives a check here, sure, but I'm simply taking, he takes here, and I believe that we might have something um, in this position. I'm not sure exactly. Still, even if I escape with the queen, is there anything I could do? Very interesting puzzle, because I just don't really know. Maybe I just don't see something here, I don't know. Maybe this move too, but then at least this check here. So that doesn't make sense. And there's this check here too, by the way, so we need to be really forcing here. I believe then we left only with this check. But after he covers, have I got anything? Moving there is the idea. So he takes, or I go there, check, he covers, then maybe I don't know, taking, checking, checking here. Maybe I'm just missing there is a checkmate or something, because he can't really go there. But if he goes, I'm gonna give him check. I'm still not. I'm not regaining the material advantage here. Or is it because I'm gonna have two rooks then? Check taking the air. Maybe. Hang on. So let's just do that. Check. He goes there. I'm simply taking his check. He takes. I take here. He takes here. I give him this check. If he goes away, cool bananas. But then what? Maybe just going that way. That's frustrating. This really. I reckon this puzzle is quite hard, but I may be wrong, and I just don't see the clear response here. How are we doing, guys? Just hour and a half, which is okay. So that seems to me kind of check here is also interesting, but yeah, well, I failed to see what is happening after I go there, check, and if he goes there, what do I do? Do I sacrifice here? He takes, I take, and then hopping to checkmate him here. Well, that's kind of really far, and way too far, I reckon. Maybe sacrificing here, check. Sure, so here it takes, then I give a check, then he can sacrifice the rook. It doesn't really matter, I'm still without the queen. So definitely not that way, huh? Let me have a quick break, guys, because I think the more I think about that, the more like I'm missing the main idea. So I'll just have a quick break, get myself some water, and get back just like to with fresh mind. Let me see. Oops. Sorry. I was to do this. I was to put myself on the break. I'll still leave the position just in case you were thinking on that. Alright, so one oatmeal biscuit and some water and some um, refreshing your mind might do the thing. But currently I don't really see how that is going to be. Um, how that is going to help. Okay. Yeah, I like Anzac biscuits. Um, oatmeal, oatmeal and honey, I believe that's what they are. Really, really nice. Well, okay. Let's. There is no way to like guess. I just need to go through the variations again. There's no other way, guys. Everything that you might say, like, well, intuitive and so on, that's all wrong because your intuition could be wrong. You could think about something conjunctive, thing is like you're looking for similarities with something else, but every single position is different. Even like a pawn position might be decisive. The king can escape via that. So here, first is check here. Most natural is just to cover, right? Most natural is to cover. Um, can we take him in the meantime? The queen? Yes, we can. So he take the queen, he takes with the pawn. Then what? We can take here, he takes, and I the d5 square is not is covered by the e6 pawn. We're still one piece down, so it doesn't really work this way. So check here, check here. What else can we do in this position? Taking the queen doesn't really seem nice. It doesn't really seem helpful. I can take here instead, threatening his rook, um, which seems interesting actually. And I saw it before, but then what if he simply goes with the rook to e8? What are we doing then? Not clear. Taking or not taking, not sure. Maybe taking here, he takes whatever. So we can go with the knight here too, and then if he simply takes, I'm gonna take here with check, and he can cover. Um, so what then? Maybe that rook comes in check. Yeah, that seems interesting. So looks like I just had a little bit of a breakthrough here. Well, not a little bit. It could be either breakthrough or not. But the idea is to check here, he takes, and I'm taking here. The idea if he takes me on g5, I'm gonna take him here first, check, and then I reckon I might, well, if he goes away, I will start to pursue him via just this check, and if he goes away that far, I'm gonna go there, and checkmate here is kind of really annoying. So yeah, that seems interesting. Now if check if he goes there, if I go there, so taking here doesn't really seem healthy. And what else can he do? Can he run away straight forward? He can, but then I simply take, and then he takes. He can't really retake, and I'm still threatening his rook. And if he goes away with the rook, I'm gonna give him check here, and then um, a lot of different things might happen. Just going there with check. If he goes that way, taking and checkmating. So that seems interesting. That seems very interesting. Take into account that I haven't had anything else here, so that move here doesn't help. Nothing else, and this is most forcing. So I reckon that's how I'm going to go. Moreover, we just check that if he runs away here, I think we've got everything covered with these checks here. Because if he goes away, I'm simply taking him here. He takes, I take here, or what? What if he runs away again? Just a moment. So check here, he runs away. I'll give him a check, of course, if he runs to that hole. What am I doing? Oh, I'm simply checking him again. And if he covers, I'm still taking here. So he has to take, and I'm then taking here check, and it's a checkmate. Nice. Right, so this one I didn't see. I confess, but let's verify it together. I can simply take with the rook, I believe. We're threatening to just the discover check, and if he takes here, I'm taking here with check. He goes away, and I believe we are pawn up. His position is not developed. All those pieces are in the same places. It's really hard to develop everything here, so I reckon that's how we are going to do that deal. Taking. If he takes here, then well, I could even probably take here with check. If he covers, I'm gonna take here with check. He goes away, I'm continuing with this check, so I think it should be fine. I'm taking with even more pawns, right? So that's how it is. Probably better to, yeah. Otherwise, I can't really take and I can't really escape. So that's the only way. And it wins. Wow. I don't exaggerate. I spent like a half hour on that particular puzzle, which is seems really hard, and that's why I got 12 points, being 2685. The rating of this puzzle is 2723, which is quite high. So, in this position, we needed to find the um, most forcing moves, and that's not a problem to find the first one, right? So he goes away. But then what? Our bishop is under attack here, and what I reckon is that this is another forcing move here, another check, right? So, no, sorry, not this check, sorry. This was the move. This was the move. And then I verified this following thing. So I reckon that this and that thing was losing because I'm just simply going away. And then what I'm threatening is I can bring the knight in as well. Then the threat would be to give it this check, and that's going to be too bad for black. In this case, black said, well, cool, so that's why I don't want to fall in this trap. Moreover, if he goes there and checks, I can simply take. He can't retake me back because of the discovered check, and his queen on f2 is lost. Therefore, he needs to go away, and well, he didn't want to go to check, although I did not quite sure if that's the correct way or not. So going there, I'm just reckoning this is the best check. Once he gets to cover on e7, I was thinking about playing taking on g7, because in this case I'm threatening to take the rook, and if rook threatens me here, I'm still taking him with check here. Okay, and he goes away, then another check is coming, and yeah, I think I'm gonna be fine here. The king is a little bit too far away, and then I can just drop back here, threatening checkmate and everything. So that was my idea. Let's just verify if that was correct according to the computer. So if he goes there, yes, it goes there. So computer says, yeah, takes g7. And if that happens, I'm taking here check. And if he goes away, I'm gonna give him this check for sure. He goes away, and I have forgotten about, well, first of all, we're threatening here. There's another brilliant move here, because if he takes, we take here, we're threatening checkmate in one. If he goes this way, still check, getting away, checkmate. Yep, yep, yep. That was kind of the idea where I was calculating. But here he goes knight to f6, and we're simply taking. I think that concluded the puzzle, but let's verify what happens if anything else happens. So if this take here check. If he goes somewhere closer, we're bringing another rook in. Bear in mind we are equal on pieces, but we've got an extra pawn, and also we are way more developed. Yeah, he can give me check here, sure, I'm just gonna go away. And the position is really good. Well, computer says +8, and the reason for that is that the flank is not really developed, right? We can bring everything in, check here, horrible. He can just maneuver this way probably, but he can't even go to f6 because my bishop will take that, and But I can always escape from f7, by the way, to like to f3, for example. Whoo, that was a real beast. Oh, pawn and game. It's always tempting me with going and continuing. Let's see. Um, okay, so what can we do here? Remember pawn and games? I covered that last time, even though I didn't solve the puzzle correctly, but let's just verify here. So first of all, the king's activity. Our king is in the center, more active than the king, which is on the 6th rank, right? Third rank in this case. Then the what we count is um, the passers, passed pawns. We've got one. The enemy hasn't got any, right? So that's a plus. Third thing is that we pawn breaks. What we can do is we can create another passer here, which I mean, in theory, if we can create another passer here, it's going to be two passers which tear the king apart. It could not guard two different passers on different flanks. Now, um, fourth thing is that extra pawn moves, and here we've got plenty of them. We've got f6, we can take here, then take f6 as well. We can go g6, we can go g5, we can go h4. So technically we've got plenty of extra moves. So has white as well. So if that's white's move, he would probably just restrict me here, having those extra moves here, and that's going to be in his favor. That's why I think we probably need to think about prophylaxis against jamming my king's flank and doing something else on our own. So I think that f4 is probably the best, but I might be wrong, because he definitely wouldn't really lock his position via h3, so he will go and attack my pawn, then I'm gonna take, he's gonna take, and then, well, this situation is not really clear. We're exchanging a lot of pawns, which I don't really like if we've got the initiative. But my idea is to put him in Zugzwang where his king needs to move, and therefore we're taking this pawn on d4, which I've forgotten to mention. So this d4 pawn is protected by the king, and my pawn is defended by my king too, so whoever moves loses. In this situation, we need to lock the king's flank in a way that we are making the last move. If we're making the last move when the flank is locked, then the enemy's king needs to move away and he loses the pawn, and with this pawn he loses the game. So let's see how we can do that. Maybe we can just go straight forward like g5, sorry. Can we do that? Well, technically we can. What can he counter to that? Definitely he wouldn't go there, because we're gonna lock the position, and it's gonna be his move, and he's gonna lose because every move that he makes is gonna be losing some material. Then, if I move g5, what can he do to make me suffer, right? So what he can do is to move like somewhere like g4, for example, right? And in this case, we cannot really take on g, because if we take here, it takes. We haven't got a spare pawn move anymore. And if we move our pawn to h4, then he moves h3, and still it is my move. Therefore, I'm losing here. So g5 seems like not to be whatever we wanted. Well, what else can we do here? We cannot throw our pawns forward in this way. We can threaten him from a side here. So here h5 move is interesting, because I threaten to take on e5, and then when he's taking on e5, then I can try and lock his position in a different way. Again, it is going to be hard to do, but I can even take that pawn first and then just go there and try to get all the pawns. But in this case, he will take my pawn on c4, and I don't know what's going to be next. I think it's the drawish. We can also try to play f5, which is interesting. If he locks the position in this case, well, we can go that way. And then what he's going to do, lock the position, we've got an extra move. If he goes there, then I'm taking, he's taking, and I'm having one extra move myself. So that seems interesting. If we go there and he locks the position via h4 though, or he doesn't really play h4, he goes this way, then we're gonna simply probably move to g5, and then what? Then he can go there, we can go further, we lock in the position, his move, he loses, so he can't really go there. He can go h3, but in this case we can, if he goes h3 and all his pawns are on the third rank, all of our pawns are on the fifth rank, you probably know this position because there is a possibility for breakthrough for black. And what he needs to do is to go g4. It depends which pawn white is taking with, but say he takes with f pawn, then we go further h4. He has to take the pawn, otherwise my pawn is queening first, and then we are moving pawn h4, and if he goes there, we are moving our pawn forward and we're queening first, which gives us some priority here because his king is going to be checked and we're going to win another pawn here, or we can check his king and win this pawn with check. Therefore it's going to be huge advantage for us in theory, but in practice, yeah, we need to be really careful about it. But saying that f5 serves another purpose. If he takes here, we're taking on f6, and our idea is if he plays like f4 himself, we can just go e4, e5. Say he takes, we take, he takes, we take, and I believe that this pawn is going to be destructive enough for white for us to go there, and if he takes, we go further, he goes further. I think we might be counting on some advantage here, although it doesn't look like that. I don't know. So what else? What else can we do? So if not f5, what else? If you play g6, that's stupid because h4 and our flank is fixed. H4, if we play h4 ourselves, f4, then what? It restricts us even more. That's why I think, well, g5, we say that g4 is probably decisive here. We are moving too fast, we are burning extra pawn moves here, so yeah, that doesn't seem healthy, in fact. Maybe we could sacrifice that pawn, maybe we could go there, in fact, but if he takes, well, can we create our passer here, the distant passer here? It's also a possibility. Let's verify that, in fact. So if we go there, and if he goes that way, we can take, he takes. Now he doesn't have any pawn break here. Yes, he's got an extra pawn move, but okay, that's fine. Can we do anything here? If we go there, he takes. If we go further, attacking the pawn, he would probably just go further and try to attack my pawns, but I don't know, it seems faster. I seem faster, so if he goes there, I take, he takes, I take him, he goes further, I'm going there, he goes further. His pawn is way too close, so I think I might even lose that one. That's hard. That's very hard. And nobody said that it's going to be easy. 2600 plus puzzles are quite diabolical. How are we standing? 2 hours. Thank you guys, whoever followed. I can't see it right now, but I do appreciate that. Feel free to participate as well, because I welcome everybody to throw in the ideas. Usually I try to solve the puzzles myself, and then we will look in the chat, we can discuss whoever was right, whoever was wrong, but being wrong is nothing. It's not wrong to be wrong, because we can all err. The most important thing is that how we learn on our mistakes, right? So learning on our mistakes is the essential part, because otherwise we won't learn. right? So we look how we what mistakes we made. We analyze why we made this mistake. It is really, really important, most essential to be critical to yourself. Not saying like, well, yeah, I made a mistake, so what? I won't make it next time. But seems like without being really objective to yourself, you will. I know that I made the same mistake many times. Why? God knows why. You know, I'm trying to be really kind of objective to myself to see why the same mistake appears again and again. And usually the answer is because I'm lazy. I don't want to calculate, or I see a position that I think is similar to something I had seen before, and apparently one little detail is different. So here, a good example of mine is that I tend to say that first of all, I don't treasure the puzzle rating that much, but for the sake of our progress here on this channel, I wouldn't really solve any puzzles once I'm offline. I mean, only chess once I'm offline, but I do. It's real temptation, like, well, yeah, let's get just solve a couple. That's fine. But then you get into that, and it's like you can't really stop, and you're losing and losing points if you are like not in the mood or underslept. You shouldn't be playing once you're not in the mood, or you are tired, or you have some apathy that just to make a move, whatever. Um, Stop. Just stop. There will be another day once you are once you slept well, once you're in better shape, and you can solve puzzles much like with some mood, enjoying solving puzzles. And for me, now, like, I promised to myself not to do so, and it looks like at least 3 times I fail really bad to like 2300 or something. The fall is really quick, the climb is really hard. So I'm climbing back to 2700 and over with the help of my good shape and mental health. So let's just get back to our puzzle. Right, so f5 seemed interesting. So if he retakes, then we take, and then he goes h4, f4, sorry. We're going further with this pawn. He goes there. I'm taking, he's taking, and I still have got an extra pawn move. So looks like f5 is interesting. Looks like f5 is interesting. Again, he takes, I take. If he tries to lock me, that's okay. I'm gonna go a5. He locks me, and it seems like, well, that's not too bad in fact, because I can sacrifice my pawn. I'm gonna go for his pawns. So he takes, I'm taking here. If he tries to protect that pawn, sure, I'm just gonna go for next pawn. And if he takes, I'm taking here. And he can't really create a passer here that quick. That's the problem. That's the problem for white. So maybe we could try to use that and see. Once I made my first move like h4 or g5, the problem is that the pawn on f3 still stays, and if it still stays we can't really infiltrate. The whole purpose is to either freeze the flank while it is still white's move, or we can infiltrate and take the pawns and create our passer much faster, because even if white takes the pawn on on c4, it is still hard for him to break through. He can't really create the passer here automatically. Even if he passes the pawn here, sure, I'm gonna take that. So he takes that, he still can't really approach to my pawn on f7, so he needs to get this 1, 2, 3 moves to get this pawn out of his pawn's from his pawn's way. But it's still really fast, looks like. So once we do that, we need to bear in mind that he might be faster than us. So it's not that simple. So going h5, f5, sorry. What if he simply locks the position? Not a problem. we're going there. And here we've got the way for an extra pawn moves, which is way too advantageous to us. Even if he goes there, taking, that's it, g6, and we are winning. We're winning that pawn, we will go for that pawn, etc. So f5 seems to me like a way, but let's not um, start, elating too early. I wanted to say something like Mr. Wolf said in Pulp Fiction, but it would be really rude in this channel. Right, it may be not interpreted well. So f5, okay. So taking, we decided it is not that good because if he takes, there is no actual way for white to use that in his advantage. Let's say if he just crawls really slowly. But if he crawls really slowly, then I start to create a passer here. So he takes, I'm taking here, and maybe there is a way, of course, for white to use that. I think there is a way because it seems like he can just go g4, trying to create a passer, and taking doesn't seem right because that's kind of, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. So definitely, let's just do elimination here. Moving with the king is definitely not advantageous at the moment, right? Which is leaving us with pawn moves. So if we move simply there, is that good? I don't know. He can go to g3, for example. What would we do? We would probably... can we take, or should we just go h3? This seems interesting because if his pawns moves, then my king goes really fast to that pawn and wins. So h4 is interesting. Why? Because h3 is pointless. He deprives himself from extra pawn moves. Now g3, on that first I play taking. But do we need this taking or not? No, we go there, we're depriving him from the move. He can't go with his king there because my pawn is gonna run here. So this pawn is kind of a wedge here for like a deposit, a money deposit for the future, because if something happens here, our king can march to that pawn way quicker and then create a passer very quick. Okay, so let's bear that in mind. So h4 seems playable here. That was the first suggestion of mine, but let's see. So g3, h3. Okay, what then? Going there, is it good? I'm not sure because I'm gonna start moving with the pawns. He takes my pawn. I'm gonna go further. He goes like d5. I'm taking. He's taking. I'm moving further. So he plays this way. I'm taking the pawn. He comes to my pawn. I'm moving away. He takes my pawn. I'm moving here. He moves there. I move here. He goes there. I'm queening. He's queening. And who is going to win here? I'm entirely not sure. Most of the pawns are gone. I've got one extra pawn here, but how to move that really quick, I'm not kind of sure. Seems like we are queening first, and that by itself is advantageous, but could be not to the extent that we are winning here. But I like the idea. So going there, there. Now this way. Frankly, we don't have to move at the moment. It seems like we are still kind of fixing the flank here. So if I go there, what would you do? Would you move your pawn to g4? If you do so, I think you are making my life easier because I'm gonna move there right away. And if you take, I'm taking here. And if you go further, I'm taking. And if you're taking, I can still get your point here. I can get your pawn here, so I can take. You can go there. I can come closer. you can get there, and then I'm taking the pawn, and if you take my pawn here, my pawn is running and creating a passera. So I think that's quite good, and without any risk. We don't need to do any kind of change to our pawn structure here. Okay, so I'm gonna play h4 here, guys. That's correct, and then h3. Wow, I guessed everything right. So now I'm not going to waste my king's move to go to that pawn, but maybe that's worth. I don't think so. What I would try to do is just to simply move the pawn here. White is going to be in Zugzwang, so he can't really move with f pawn. This is the only way he could do at the moment. And in this case, I'm going to go forward for his pawns. He takes here, I'm taking here. So he goes there. That seems like the only way. I'm taking here with check. He retakes. I'm taking his other pawn. Now, if he starts to march to my f7 pawn, I'm going to go to his e5 pawn. And that is winning. As we said. By the way, I've got 13 points for that particular puzzle, which is just astonishing. Um, pawn pawn puzzles are really hard to they're hard to calculate, and that's why they hate it among even grandmasters. Not a lot of people know how to play pawn in games, but I'm not boasting. I'm just saying you the fact. The fact that I solved that puzzle doesn't say anything because I failed many times before on much simpler puzzles. So here again, it is nothing kind of no magic. You have to go for each variation and calculate whoever finishes this first, but you need to know the paradigm, the concept. So you saw that there was deadlock with the kings, and whoever manages to lock the other side, leaving the move to your opponent, and if your opponent moves, that's a Zugzwang, and he loses the position. So going from there, you would need to know you know how to move the pawns if you know what you're doing. Just checking the variations. All right, guys. So on that really nice note, I would like to say goodbye to you. It was quite a long stream actually. Let me just quickly check. It was over 2 hours because I spent a lot of time on some particular puzzles there, which were, frankly saying, quite hard. So 2 hours, 2 and a quarter. So it is quite good. The main thing is that we got over 2700, which is really good. And I'll continue solving that probably on Saturday. Okay, so if you're keen, just drop by. I'm gonna be streaming around the same time, maybe slightly earlier. No, I think this around the same time. So everybody is welcome. Thank you for your visits. Thank you to everybody who followed, and I will try my best to entertain you next time with solving puzzles. It's going to be harder and harder, but I know what I'm doing, and I think together we can conquer that. And I'm really hoping to go even over 2700 at some point. Just being careful not to solve that when I'm not in the mood and so on. Alright guys, so thank you again. Thank you to everybody who was watching and will be watching. I would say to you goodbye now, and I see you later. Take care and bye bye.